When a great white confronts you close, they're with those big blue eyes, with their blue eyes. And if they look at you, it's like looking in the eyes of God. It's like deep, magical penetration. It's sort of spiritual, really. To me, you can't explain it, really. It's just like, but then I take people and they see it and they say, now I know, now I understand. And when that shark approaches you, gives you that look that only he can give you, and if you let it, you have to let that shark talk to you and show you, and you know. The moment that you understand that is the moment you can front these animals.
Hi everyone, I'm Bessie Kadra. Welcome to my podcast, Bridging the Realm, where we bring spiritual wisdom into modern day reality. I hope you enjoy this week's episode and make sure to subscribe to this channel to stay updated on all future episodes. I always like to begin all of my podcasts with how I first came across your work, and I have been following you, I think probably for about 2 years now on Instagram, and just I've been fascinated by the information that you've been sharing with regards to sharks and ocean conservation and the work that you're doing. And I just found it really interesting and just things that, you know, people like me who don't really do any of this work have no clue about. But I think it's very, very important for us to know because, of course, we all play a big part in this world in terms of the oceans and how we're affecting them. So I thought your work is really important for us to kind of, well, for my audience to know about if they haven't already.
Well, thank you, Desi, for reaching out to me. I appreciate it. And for all your support and for all your people that follow you and people you talk to for their support, because we definitely need it for our oceans and our sharks. And we'll get into that later, I guess. But yes, I started diving when I was 17. It was 1960, late 59, 60. So you know how old I am then. I'm an older guy. I just really got into it and just loved it. And I was in spearfishing because a lot of us in the older days, when we started in the early 60s, in that time, there wasn't too many people in conservation or into underwater cinematography or underwater photography. So I actually got into spearfishing, which I enjoyed. And I guess I became very good at it because I represented Panama for several years, and we would travel to different countries in spearfishing, just like any other sport. But eventually, that sort of faded away. I think people, you get to see just killing so much fish and so forth wasn't a thing. But and then in the mid 70s, I was actually living on an island. It was like a uninhabited island, and I was building a fishing camp lodge on this island with a few prisoners that lived on it. Yeah, it was actually a prison island, like Papillon, you know?
Okay.
Really, it's seriously. It's an island called Coiba Island off of Panama. And they wanted to build a fishing camp there. So I was asked to go there to build it and supervise it. And they gave me prisoners to work for me. So I had to live with these prisoners.
Oh.
And I had one guard that came over from the central prison area, and he would watch these 12 prisoners.
Okay.
I had, but they were actually trustees, or saying they were trustees. So anyway, that was it. And I built this, but I got, at that time, I was able to pick up a camera and started to shoot, underwater stuff. I thought that was very cool. Very primitive. That was in the mid 70s. And then by luck, I ended up with a small 16 millimeter video camera. And ABC Wild World of Sports picked it up, and they said, wow, you're filming all these game fish underwater and everything, and nobody's ever done this. We've never seen people doing it. And we would like to send people to your area to fish, and we would like to film the action, and would you film underwater? I said, yeah, I'll try. And so that's how I got into underwater cinematography. And yeah, everything there is history.
That sounds incredible. Thank you so much for sharing that. That's a fascinating way to start this. And yeah, so you were first in the Air Force, and that's how you actually went to Panama in the first place. Is that correct?
Exactly. I was in the Air Force. I'm from Texas originally. But I joined the Air Force when I was 16.
Oh, wow.
I was able to get out in 16. It was supposed to be 17. But,
so young.
yeah, but I got in at 16. And yeah, I stayed in the Air Force for 8 years. Well, actually, I got a ship to Panama. Well, going into the diving part, I got here to Panama, but when I grew up in Texas, I used to always watch the old TV series called Sea Hunt with Mike Nelson. Yeah. Way back to 50s, 60s. It was the first guy underwater, called Sea Hunt. Yeah. And I said, oh my God, I want to do that. But all I had to look at was cows and horses and stuff like that in Texas. I never saw the ocean. And I was like, well, that's what I want to do. And had no idea I would ever be able to do that. And when I arrived to Panama, really not knowing anything about Panama, the military, the Air Force sent me. And I saw the oceans and I said, wow. But they have what you call the YMCA, here in that, they have several military bases here in Panama in that time. And they had the YMCA scuba diving classes, instruction. I said, whoa, this is for me. So I got in, and there were very few people. And then I took the class. I was just crazy about it. And then I became the first instructor in Panama. Because the instructor that they had there, they brought in from the outside to give these classes. But me being in Panama, I was able to become an instructor. And I became the first instructor. And that was in 1961, I think. Oh, wow. And I was just, but then I stayed until 1964. And I re-enlisted. That was, for the Air Force. And I had to leave Panama. And then I went to Vietnam. So I was in Vietnam from 66 to 68. And when I got out of the military in 68, being in Vietnam wasn't a cool thing. It wasn't a very popular war. And people weren't too good with that. So I said, I'm coming back to Panama. I love it. So I came back in 1968. And there I've stayed.
Oh, wow, incredible. So you definitely had this draw towards the ocean. Do you feel like, I don't know, do you believe in past lives or anything like that? Because maybe you lived near.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, you know what? I went to a medium. I believe in it. A medium?
Oh, yes, of course. Yeah.
A couple of them. And I found out, but I met one that I was out in Los Angeles, California, and I met this medium. She was famous, very famous. Some of the art movie stars, and she was very supposed to be legit. And I was talking, I went to see her, but this was actually, wow, 80s. And I really hadn't really got, I was involved in the ocean, but I'm making money on it, and I'm making my life out of it. And she had never met me. I walked in, and she told me, you're going to make your life and your money out of the ocean, out of the sea, out of ocean, out of doing things creatively out of the ocean. And that's how you're going to make your money. I said, wow. I loved it, but I couldn't make money out of it. I never did. I just did it on the, bouncing around.
As a hobby.
Uh, and imagine in the 90s, actually in the 90s, I really begun to make money with the ocean and
Oh,
doing the
wow.
things that I do and working with Discovery. I've shot for Discovery on several documentaries, worked with National Geographic. I take people on sharks dives and this and that.
Yeah, I read a bit
I
about that.
found I found treasure,
Yes,
a
tell me a bit
Spanish
about.
galleon,
Yeah,
and
that's
I was able to do that. So I mean, everything's been bouncing around the ocean and making a life out of it.
wow. Yeah, I mean, I've been reading through some of your work and it sounds like something out of a movie. So,
Yeah. Well, I made a movie. Actually, diving here, growing up here, diving all the areas here in Panama. Anyway, in the 60s, late 60s, somewhere. Because I used to dive, I would run across these shipwrecks. And I saw cannons and I'd see stuff. Because, Panama was an area, there were a lot of Spanish galleons, from the
yeah,
Portobello area, across the Pacific to the Atlantic. So, but in that time, there wasn't too many people that knew too much about it. There wasn't a value,
yeah,
like there are today. A coin today, the tremendous values, and this and that. People trade and buy so many. But I'd find them, and I'd say, "Oh, look at this," I'd pick up some of the stuff around,
like antique.
and yeah, antiques. Yeah, but I would say, what, they're nice and stuff. And then there was a lady here in Panama. She actually run the culture department. And I had met her for somebody else. They said, "Hey, Mike, would you bring up some of this stuff for us? And you're the only one that does this. We can put it in the museum." I said, "Sure." And so I picked up stuff and I'd take it to her and she'd put it in the museum. You have old bottles, and pieces of shipwrecks, cannons. But cannons were so big, you couldn't pick them up. But we were able to take out a barge with a crane and pick up some, and they were able to get them in and preserve them. That's pretty cool. And then around the mid 70s, a friend of mine actually worked for Argosy magazine, a writer for Argosy, but also a salvage. Well, I would say salvage. I would say a pirate. He was but he was very good, an underwater archaeologist. Let's put it that way. And he was working on a shipwreck out of the Bahamas called the Nuestras Señoras de las Maravillas. And he said, "Hey, Mike, I want you to come up and help us work on this wreck." I said, yeah, okay, one day. And I was in Miami, I was in Florida, and I was actually doing a spearfishing thing up in Florida. And for some reason, I got in touch with him. He got in touch with me. He said, "Hey, up in Florida, come on over to the Maravillas of the Bahamas because we're just almost finding her. And come on, man, we're going to do this with a film shoot, a documentary." And it's in the 70s. I said, okay. So anyway, I got over there. They found the ship. We found the ship. We did the work on it. It was just too much work for me. I mean, diving, bringing up silver bars and treasure was like, After a while, I got old. It was like, oh, this is not what I want.
It takes a toll on you, doesn't it?
Yeah. I mean, my hands were eat up by picking up silver bars and
Wow.
treasures and so forth. And it was like, oh my
Wow,
God.
but that must have valued so much, even at
Yeah.
the time.
I
Yeah.
mean, I mean, if I could go back today and realize just how crazy that was.
Wow.
Actually, they just put out on YouTube just last month. I was in the Bahamas on a shark shoot, and they got hold of me and they want me to come in and do an interview in the Bahamas about that first part of the shipwreck for the Bahamian archaeologists. So I did that. It's on YouTube. I'll send that to you or send you a link, and you can listen to my talk about it. Because that was the first one on the wreck. So, and you know what? They're still working that wreck today.
Okay.
And it's ended up to be one of the richest wrecks in the Western Hemisphere.
Oh,
I mean, we picked up gold, silver, jewels, I mean, everything you want.
wow, that's
You know?
yeah. I mean, you must learn a lot about also those times because that, some of them are hundreds of years ago, those ships. So
The other 400 years old, 350. Because the Maravilla went down in 1656. Like I said, ended up to be the richest treasure ship in the Western Hemisphere. And then the Atocha came in out of Florida, being the richest of all. And but then old Mike Bolton wouldn't give up. So I was in Panama, and I happened to remember, hey, but I know where some of this stuff is. So in the 80s, as time rolled along, I got curious, and I said, I, I knew of the shipwrecks, but then I knew about the richest shipwreck in Panama area. It was called the San Jose. And she went down in 1631. Not to be confused with the San Jose in Colombia, which is worth billions, but this is the San Jose of 1631. And it's worth a lot of millions of dollars. So I started to look in the 80s, the 90s. Here, boom, boom. And all the information I had were bad. Wasn't correct. All the information from the archives. If you go to my closet over there, I got still there, over 350 or 60 pages of the archive that I got out of Seville, Spain. I went to Seville to get these documents. But now you can't do it. In those days, you could. And they go and they get the fichas and they give you copies.
Mm-hmm.
So I got all these documents. I mean, I got serious. on this. I said, you know what? I want to find this ship. There's nobody else can find this ship but me. It's in Panama. It's my ship. That's it. And I started hearing people around on the outside from France and Spain, United States. Oh, we're going after the San Jose in Panama. I said, no, you're not. I'm going to find it. So I went through these papers. I started reading. And if you see documents written from these Spaniards in these days,
Mm-hmm.
because they're all testimonies written in their handwriting.
Wow.
Terrible. And they're in Latin, not Spanish.
Okay, so that's a little bit different.
Well, and they're drawn, parts of them they can't write. Some of them they write backwards. Oh, I mean, really, it's terrible. And you have all of the testimonies of what happened, where it went, what happened afterwards. And there was so much confusion on past records that it was like, whoa, is this the same ship? And of course, it was. But we had to get a priest to come in and help us in the Latin because I couldn't understand a lot of the words. And my wife's Spanish, and I had a girl from Spain that was living at that time, and we were living on an island here in Panama called Cantarora, where I had lived for over 35 years. So we all got together and we're saying, this paper, this don't mean anything. This doesn't mean anything. This doesn't mean anything. So, and going to each one, and boom, in a paragraph this big, I knew exactly where it was. And before that, I felt like something went up my neck, that I knew what was happening and I had it in my mind. And all of a sudden, boom, one little arm told me exactly where it was, because I know these islands so well. Because it's in the islands where I live now. In Cantarora is the islands where it went down. And so I knew exactly. So I started to look and look and look and look. And it wasn't that easy, but I knew where it would be. And I found it. And in 1998, I found it right there. It's crazy.
Yeah.
And then you think about the medium that I talked to years ago. Maybe what was she saying? There it was, right in my back, right in my hands. It was like I literally I could swim to it.
Wow. That's crazy. Actually, funny enough, you mentioned mediums. I normally interview a lot of mediums on my podcast, so I'm very familiar with
Oh,
this.
really?
Yes.
Oh my God.
Mediums, psychics, people, shamans, people who communicate with spirits. So I'm very
I
familiar.
believe that. I
Yeah.
believe that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'm able to, I do, well, my daughter's a yoga instructor.
Okay.
And, I'm 82 years old and I'm still diving, I'm still crazy and you know,
Wow,
I do,
you
I'm
really don't look
82,
it.
yeah. Yeah, well, I'm still out there doing it. But I do a lot of meditation and before I'll dive, I can get, uh, like you can, if I'm going to go on a shoot, like I got my camera stuff here or whatever, I will talk and joke. When it comes time to get in the water with sharks or do what you do, you have to realize all the things that can go wrong. You've experienced them and and you know what type of shark you get in the water with. And I would just go to the side and I will meditate. And I will just bring down my heartbeat, put my mind into where it should be. Because in the water, once you're in the water with sharks, it's too late. There's no time for putting yourself together. You have to do it before. And so I can do that. And I can leave my body if I want. I can get so deep into myself that I can actually go away, go somewhere else if I want to. I've found to be able to do that. People don't believe that, but it's true. You can do that. I was in a meditation class with this guy was a yoga guy, a meditation guy, supposed to be real famous. And my daughter said, Dad, you got to come. I said, okay, I'll go. So I went and we were doing meditation. He said, can I talk to you a minute? I said, sure. He said, I was watching you because I'm very interested in what you do. I know what you do and how you keep yourself in, not going crazy with sharks. And I said, he said, but you actually can leave your body against you. You actually can. I said, yeah. So I felt that. I noticed that about you. That you weren't there. You were somewhere else. I said, how did you know that? I said, how did you feel that? He said, I know. I've seen it before. Many times. I said, no. And then I was on a ship in the middle of the ocean, 200 miles out in the middle of the ocean. And I had this girl on there on this shoot. And she was a medium. She works with the police force, stuff like that. And she was watching me, and she was like analyzing me, I guess. And she said, "Can I talk to you?" She said, "I feel so much stuff in you. I'm just feeling it every time you look at me. I feel so much energy from you. I feel so many, and I feel." I really, well, at one time, tears come to her eyes. I said, what's going on with you? She said, I have to talk to you. I go, oh. I said, okay. And she knew what brought the tears out in her. She knew through me that she was feeling about something that I went through. She knew nothing about it, but she felt the pain I was going through. I said, wow. And she was on a shoot. But she does police work. But she was like, I don't know.
pick up your energy. Yeah, no, I completely believe in that, and I really believe that we are all kind of connected, and we can pick up on each other's emotions through energy, because we are, in a way, yeah, we are energetic beings. So there is this kind of, beyond the physical reality that we can see, there's also the energetic level that we are through which we are communicating at all times as well. So, and leading on from that, I also feel like that's probably how we also communicate to animals. I mean, I completely believe that we can communicate
Oh,
with animals. They can feel everything that we feel, and they can completely understand us. They can pick up on our emotions and vibrations at all times. So that doesn't surprise me at all. That's really fascinating to hear from someone who does diving. That's
well,
a different side. Yeah.
I believe that. I believe there's a hereafter. I believe I believe all of this stuff. I've seen too many things that you just can't, no
Totally.
way.
Yeah.
Doesn't exist, you know, and I have communicated with people that have passed. I
Okay.
feel it. I feel it. I mean, everybody should be doing it. Oh, it's a dream. It wasn't a dream. That. But yeah, but you know, it
Mm-hmm.
was like I have a guy, a young guy that I had known with for I mean, he died in his 30s, so you can imagine. But he was the top. I mean, the kid was like the future. I mean, he was the best cinematographer, underwater cinematographer that existed. I learned from him. I learned diving from him. Imagine that. And he was just like, I loved him. I mean, the best of the best. And he just come back from a discovery shoot on Shark Week, and he had been an addict for years, been on the street, came back, got on rehab, become the best of the best. And anyway, he got off of a. I heard he was. I talked to him before. I felt some bad vibes. I tried to talk to him, but anyway, he passed, overdose. Um, and I talked to him. I was the last person to talk to him. It was in the evening, and he was talking to me. I said, "We got to calm down, man." Anyway, I said, "You know, I didn't think were bothering him, but I actually he called me back, and I talked to him again at around 6 o'clock U.S. time, and he was going. He was leaving the next morning for another shoot, and we closed early in the morning. I'm on my Instagram, blah, blah, he said, "Did you hear this? So and so died." What? And I was gone. Anyway, the last trip I'd been with him was out on a place that I returned 4 months later. And I'm with him, and I wake up in the middle of the night. I'm in the same area. And I hear him, hey, old man, I'm good. I'm all right. I'm good. He said, "Yeah, I'm looking, I'm here. I've been able to get in contact with a lot of young people. I just love working with these young people." And I said, "You don't work with young people. What are you talking about?" You know? I said, well, to find out later through his brothers and his father, and everything, he loved kids. It was his main thing with children. I never knew that. He's not even married. He was a crazy guy. But his his perfect was being with young people. He loved that,
Mm.
you know? And I said, "Oh, wow." I said, "Man," he said, and then I remember telling him, "Hey, by the way, have you seen my son there?" Because I lost a son too. Or we lost a son, my wife. Um, and he was small. He was only not even a year old. I said, "Hey, have you seen her?" I said, "Hey," and it like I didn't even say the word. He said, "Oh, you mean Michael Alexander?" "Yeah, I see him all the time, man. He can't wait. He's awesome, man. Talk to him all the time." And he said, "Man, he's one of my kids, and he loves you, man. He can't wait to see you." And I woke up. It was so real. Oh, And then, wait, the same medium, the same girl, because she knew my hurt for Mike. It was right after that. And she said, he's going to contact you because he has something you didn't give back to him. I said, what do you mean? I ain't going to give back to everything. I can't believe this. Desi, I'm going to tell you, this is crazy, crazy. The last time, the same trip, I got off of the boat. I left my things. I was going to the dock. I didn't have my shirt. I was back on the boat. I was in just my shorts. I said, I got to drive back to the hotel where we're staying at. And he was in the car, and he said, here, take my shirt. He took off his sweater and he gave it to me. And it was a Shark Week shirt from Discovery. And he said, it's the only one I got. So I want my shirt back. I said, yeah, I get it. No. He said, don't lose my shirt. I still got the shirt. It's right in there in my closet. I forgot to give it back. Oh my God. And he joked about that with me. I said, I'll give it back to you. She came up with that. She didn't know me. She didn't know him.
Yeah.
Wow.
And these are the kind of moments that really verify your beliefs about things like this. You just think, okay, there's no way she could know that. That's just, yeah.
It's just impossible. She doesn't know him. She didn't know, and everybody, but she was watching me the whole time on that shoot. She was like, oh. But
ask you, do you feel like working with sharks has taught you anything about yourself in terms of, I guess, because how I see sharks is they kind of represent almost like the shadow side of us, like the darker side, the one that's just driven by those kind of more instincts and these primal instincts that we're sometimes scared to own and to we kind of suppress those. But do you feel like working with sharks has ever taught you anything?
no, it taught me more of I don't know. I've never seen them as being I don't know. I have people that die with me, and they say, "My God, sharks look at you like they know you. They just like you're like one of them. It's just like going about the business, Except the two way back in the days. But I was asked for that because I was killing things. So they came after my fish, and came after my gun, came after me. Completely different time. But now it's just that as I said in my documentary, when a great white confronts you close, there was those big blue eyes. But they're blue eyes. They're not dark black eyes. Forget the Jaws movie. They're blue, like cut of your shirt.
Oh, really? Okay.
Really beautiful blue eyes. And if they look at you, it's like looking in the eyes of God. It's like deep, magical penetration. I mean, you're looking at a predator that's 4,000 pounds. They can take you with no problem. But he swims by you and looks at you. And comes around and looks at you and goes off. I mean, he can take you, no problem. I'm just saying, if a shark like wants you, he's going to take you. No question. There's nothing you can do about it. You can't push him off. You can't hit him. You can't do anything. He's going to take you. He's going to eat you. Period. That's but when you see them like that, it's it's sort of spiritual, really. It is spiritual. And when you look down, it's a feeling you can't explain, really. It's just like, but then I take people and they see it and they say, now I know, now I understand. I told you. But you see them and you get with them, it's like, maybe because we feel that we're not supposed to be with them. whatever. We're not supposed to be with them. We're not supposed to be
there.
Yeah. I mean, if you were the bear in the woods, then that's okay. I mean, you're supposed to be there. You're in the ocean. I mean, you're in the woods. You're walking around in your house, or a snake. That's where I walk too. At the ocean, you're not, in deep or what, you're not.
Yeah.
That's really not our place. Yes, it is. That's where you fucking came from. That's why you want to go back there. That's why you take such a reaction of feeling to the ocean and to the creature. And when that shark approaches you, gives you that look that only he can give you, and if you let it, you have to let that shark talk to you and show you, then you know, oh, oh, that's why you're there. It's not because that's where we came from. The ocean. That's where you came from, I came from, everybody came from.
Yeah.
And that's why they end up going back. So the thing is, I think that's the difference. That we're not supposed, you feel you're not supposed to be there.
You're completely in their territory, so
you're
it's
out of your element, is what you're thinking. Oh man, my element, I can't be there. The shark, oh my God. You're supposed to be there, that's where you came from. Walking down the street with a dog or walking with a snake, that's okay, but
no, in an ocean.
it's okay.
That's really incredible. I love that, and I love this blend between the ocean, and talking about the ocean and sharks, and also the spiritual aspect, because I really feel like animals actually, they are in a way sort of the bridge for us into that spiritual world, because they're so much closer, I would say, to that reality than we are, because we're a lot more disconnected as people, as humans. We're a lot more focused on the physical, but I feel like all animals are so much more interconnected with the kind of the spiritual aspect of our reality, the energetic aspect, because they are feeling creatures that feel kind of vibrations and energies.
It's all there.
Yeah.
All there. The moment that you understand that is the moment you can confront these animals. If you cannot understand that, do not try to confront an apex predator or predator. Dogs or cats, okay, maybe, but not an apex predator or a predator. And a predator knows. They know. I mean, I sit there with people and say, oh my God, it's just like, ugh. It was like, every year we see less of these pelagic oceanic whitetips. They are a very bold, aggressive shark, a shark to be respected, and when diving with them, you really need to keep your eyes open because they can be very, very aggressive, and they are ambush hunters. And because they hunt in groups, you're watching one, and when the other one can come you from behind. So you always have to keep your eyes open when filming these beautiful animals. I had what do you call one of these things? I always say spiritual exorcism.
Okay. You had one. Okay.
Wow.
What was it about?
Wow. Went on for like 4 hours. Meditation, breathing, sounds, all in darkness, all in. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. It's very shamanic. It's like a shamanic process
Yeah. And all she did was just sit there and take notes and listen and watch me and feel everything that was coming out of me and knowing everything. And again, that was like, I was going through some issues. We all have issues, no matter how fucking great we think we are.
Yeah.
We all have issues, man. I mean, I had to go through some issues, and these people were friends of my daughter, and I had met them, and they said, "Give it a shot, man. You're so open. Your mind is so open. You're so acceptable. You can to this thing." And I said, "Okay, let's see what's going on here." And it was incredible. And things like she came back and wrote about me. And one part of the thing, I said, "Wow, I was because it's all you don't it's all in darkness, so you don't see." And then I told her, I said, "Yeah, I really appreciated that your comfort that you give me because I was actually crying, you know." And I think it went back to my son that we lost. I think everything fell in that I was depressing, and some other things, and I felt her on my hand, and I said, "I really appreciated what you did for me. You know, I mean, you felt me. I felt your touch, and you felt." He said, "Mike, I never got up. I was sitting there all the time. I never came to you. I but I saw, I saw, and I felt the spirit behind you. And it was your guardian angel. So we have a guardian angel from the time you're born to the time you die. He may disappear, go away, come back, but he's always there. And he knew you were in trouble, and he was there. He let you know that I'm here, but it wasn't me. I was sitting down all the time. Because I could feel it. I could feel the pressure on my arm. I could feel the touch on my shoulder.
Yeah.
Crazy.
It is crazy. It's really incredible when you actually have the experience. Because one thing is to hear about it from somebody else, but to have it for yourself, it's
You don't tell people because they think you're crazy.
yeah.
But and then because 2 days after that, I was off to the shark dive. I was off for the shoot. And I was with Zach, with Zach and Dylan Efron. I was off. I was off of there, but I was like, I was really wound up. I was in anxieties. I was in really anxiety. I was in a depression state. I was going through a lot of shit, and I was just like, you know. And I don't take medications or anything. I was like, I got to. But hey, but it was more than 4.5. It was like 5 hours or so. You know, it was just like talking in the beginning, then going into the session, and the sounds and everything was going on in it, and getting deep in the meditation and some breathing. But what I came out with, what she saw, was things that I can't really relate to right now. I'm still wondering about that because it was so deep that I just can't believe it. You know, I was like, really, some things that I'm too far to be believing from my past life.
Mm-hmm.
And it was, I said, it sounded to me too, almost like fiction. You know, it's like, wow.
It does sound like that.
Yeah, but the feeling and everything was there. I mean, it was like, wow. And I could feel, when I finished, I was complete soaked. And I don't sweat. I go work out in the gym and I have to go take a steam bath because I don't sweat. I'm not a sweater. Yeah, I can work out. I go to the gym Monday, Wednesday, Friday. I work out. I sweat. You live in wet, you know. But I don't sweat. When I got up from there, I was wet,
Wow.
complete, like toxic.
Mm-hmm. Almost like a release, like something's been released from your body. Yeah.
Demons. The demons, they don't want us to do good. They don't want us to do what we're meant to do. And they're always around and they're looking for somebody or somehow protect the goodness that we try to have. I believe that. And I believe the more closer we get to goodness, the more tougher it becomes to be attacked by something evil. And the evil exists. And that's a fact. I believe that. I really believe that. People are bad, they have no problem. Oh, they're going around. When you're good, that's when they're going to get you.
Yeah, there's something that they say in the kind of spiritual community where the brighter your light is, the more you attract, the more you
Darkness.
attract. So it's kind of it's true. It's
That's
very
true.
true.
Yeah, I think it is act. I mean, I've seen the demons, man. I mean, I've seen them. I really believe that's they're there, and but we, we want it. We're put here for a purpose. We have to do good, but always like the sharks. You got to keep your eye on the ball. Or watch around on them. We'll get you back to them. But it's joking around, but it's true. It's true. I've had two experiences with two great white sharks. I mean, I've had hundreds of great white sharks, hundreds, but two have stood out. Two, one I saved his life, and I saw it year after year after year after year for 5 years straight. And he became more, he wouldn't get away from me. Like he wouldn't, like he knew. The second one was a young female, a juvenile, great white, very young. When I first saw her, she was probably maybe 2 years max. 2 years max. Very, very, very timid, beautiful, juvenile female great white shark. Well, we have catalogs where we name all of our sharks that we find new in the area. If we're diving like in the area of Guadalupe, Mexico, for instance, we have a clan of great whites that are always there. Oh, no, sorry, they migrate through from July to December, then they're gone. But these sharks, we can distinguish each shark. Each shark you can have different markings. No two sharks are the same. So once you get to know them, you can ID them, give them names. We can say, hey, we submit it into our database. We look at the lines, the facial, and we say, no, this is a new shark. So we add him in, and then we can name him. So I named this shark after my new granddaughter at that time, Michaela Victoria. I have saw her every year. I mean, it was crazy. Didn't she come in? It was like, I saw her grow. And I saw her be so mean. That shark is the meanest shark I've ever seen. She's so mean. I mean, really not aggressive, but mean, doing mean things, because we shoot outside of a cage and we shoot inside of a cage. So depending on what we're doing, we'll drop a cage down to around 40 to 50 feet, and then we will go outside the cage and film, and then we'll come back in. Our cameras are changed. And I saw her out there, and I had filmed her and a couple of the sharks, and I got in, I was in the cage, and I saw her getting very close, and I put everything aside, I lay there like this. I'm just watching her. Desi, she came right up to me and she stuck her nose in the cage. Really easy. And she's mean. She's about to hit the cage. Bam, in her tail and swim away and come around her. Bam! I said, hey! And she just came right up, stuck her nose in the cage, and I was able to touch her head like that. And she backed up from away. And she come around. But she let me, it was like she came to let me know. I know who you are, I know who I am. And we have a connection. Somehow, maybe she doesn't know, but she said, I got a connection with you. It's been years. This was like 4 years.
That's incredible. And to feel that and to feel
that's a
being in front of you so close, that must be just.
I told that story. I even got the picture. I actually took a picture of it. another one shark called Luca, and we found him. We were doing a shoot for a TV program with another guy that died on us, another young guy that was very famous that did the movie Sharkwater. And I had just talked to him a few days before, and it was crazy because he was coming down to Panama after that shoot. But I was there with Ocean Ramsey, myself, Rob, Juan, and we were doing the shoot, and this great white came by. They were inside doing their talk like we're talking. And I was sitting out in the back with my wife, and I saw this shark swim by. It was so thin, he had this big rope hanging to him. This big giant rope tied to him, just dragging. And I said, oh my God. And I called Ocean out. Ocean, get out of here, man. Ocean come running out. You may know Ocean Ramsey, who she is.
I've heard, yeah, but I've never watched it. Yeah.
Yeah, she's my colleague. We did a lot of work together. I've known her since she was 19. And I actually talked to her yesterday. She's in Hawaii. But anyway, I said, you gotta get out of here, man. Look at this shark. We gotta do something. Oh my God, Mike. I said, yeah, what are we gonna do? I said, I don't know. I said, well, we went to the kitchen. We got a big knife. I think I sharpened it up in the kitchen. And we were on a big boat. We're out in the middle of the ocean, like Guadalupe Island. So the guy sharpened up the knife, and she said, I'll do it. I'll cut him loose. And because she's a shark whisperer. I mean, she is like, she can do things that it's incredible. So I said, okay. So her husband and me, I said, we'll get out. We'll get him on one side. We'll detour him. So he can come to us. We'll get him to come on over. You watch the side. Get him to swim around because he was just hanging out. Like he was saying, help me, And she said, I will go down and I will cut it. I'll grab him. So we detoured him, and she got out, and as the shark turned, to go off toward Juan, she went down. And she went down, and she grabbed the fin, and it scared the shit out of the shark. He starts going down. She takes the knife, not like this, but like this. And because I had this this rope was like this big rope. And she just went down like this, and fuck. And she lets go of the fin, and she with both hands. And the shark's going down, and she's just going down with it. And like she said, I'm not letting go until this thing's cut, But she's a good diver, so it didn't matter. But the shark was going down, and she was like,
wow,
she was disappearing into the blue, and bam, the thing cut. The whole thing fell loose. I mean, I'll send you pictures of it. Unbelievable. And this shark came out and started to eat. The next year we saw him again. The year after that, the year after that, the year after that, the year after that. So I've seen this 5-6 times. If I show you the picture of him, how thin he was, almost dying. So at the end, where I couldn't get him off of the camera, I'm trying to get away from him. I've had to push him away. He was like, come around. He won't leave. I have to push him away. I've asked people that's been there, have you seen Luca? Because his name is Luca. And he's got a big scar on his side and on his neck. Big scar, because it cut so deep that it left the scars.
Oh, wow.
So it's very easy to see him. Yeah. But he got some fat knife. And I'm convinced that he knows. It's like, why another shark doesn't do that? And I was like, all right. So I believe in all this stuff.
And you can feel it as well, can't you? You can feel when their energy is not really
oh yeah.
out to get you, or when they're threatened by you, and you can feel when they actually feel, okay, I feel safe with these humans around me, I guess. You can kind of
exactly. Well, the thing is, they're like animals or dogs or people. They're very. You can have a good day, bad day.
Yeah.
You have people, you have sharks that are just not players, we call them, and they don't want you around. Period. But then but this is what you have to study. You just don't jump in the water with a bunch of sharks and start swimming around. Is that we get in, we look at the situation, we know is it good to get in? Especially but all sharks are different. Well, I mean, I dive with great whites, tiger sharks, oceanic whitetips, bulls, all the major players, and all of them are different. They have different temperament. So you have to know that when you're going in with this particular shark, he's got this way of, because you look at a bull shark. A bull shark is considered one of the most dangerous sharks in the ocean and has the highest testosterone of any animal in the kingdom. More than a lion, a tiger. So he can be very, very mean and can't be trusted at all. And then we have a tiger shark, which is, you never turn your back. You could, the thing with these sharks is, I think all sharks, even though you think you know them, is that you never will turn your back on them. Even Luke, no, but these sharks, I think a great white, under circumstances, is probably more docile than a bull or a tiger or an oceanic whitetip. Maybe because of their size, they don't need to prove anything. I don't know. But great whites got a bad rep. I mean, they will attack, but who they have attacked are people on surfboards, which is the main.
Yeah.
And if you look at a surfboard, a surfer, and they're laying their legs out, it looks like a seal, and they live on they feed on seals. But they don't eat the people. They grab and they let go. But they're so big, and the power, the torque of their mouth. If you look at the mouth, bigger mouth. Then they let go, but the damage is done. That's the problem. So they made a bad mistake, but it's not what they wanted to do.
Yeah.
An oceanic whitetip, they would eat you. Yeah. I was diving on a Red Bull shoot for Red Bull documentary, and we were it was a long shoot. That was about a 10-day shoot, and one day we went out, and this French guy came on board, but I didn't know who he was. I said, "Who's this guy?" And I said, "Oh, he's a friend of so-and-so." And he said he'd been in the Red Sea before diving with oceanics. Okay. What's he going to do here, But he's there, and I look at the guy, I just don't feel comfortable with the guy. Like a shark. The guy to me is not.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah. So I'm getting my equipment, I get my stuff, and like I said, I separate myself and get ready, And so as I'm getting ready, he sort of comes over and interrupts me and started asking about my camera stuff and this and that. And I said, "Hey, dude, this is my time. I don't want to get my head mixed up with it. Because I'm going down with about 20 to 25 feeding oceanic white-tip sharks and 2,000 feet of water. Anything comes through there. And it's like, and we're drifting, but the current is pushing in 60 feet of water. I'm traveling for miles, and we're just drifting with the current, pushing. You don't really feel it, but you're just going with the current. But you got 25 or 30 big oceanic whitetips just feeding, coming around you. they will eat you. They will grab you without a question. And, and Jacques Cousteau, I studied, and for him, he said it's the most dangerous shark in the ocean. It has killed more people in the ocean than any other shark registered. The oceanic white-tip, and so they're unforgiving, very unforgiving. And anyway, the guy, he says, "Well, oh no, I'm going to go down. What do I do when I go down and I see one coming for me? And what should I do? Blah blah blah." And I'm saying, "That's time to be learning what's supposed to be doing." I said, "Dude, if you're not ready, I said, if you're not ready when you get in, it's too late." I mean, they're not going to say, wait a minute, let me, hey, I'm sorry, because they'll pick up you like this, but you stay over there, don't get close to me, because they will pick up on energy, heartbeat, like this. They'll pick you out like a prime piece of meat. And I told him, don't get in the water unless you're prepared, because if you're not prepared, it's too late. Anyway, I go down and I'm doing my work. I'm filming, I'm working. We're filming, there were 6 of us. And these sharks are coming on us, push them over with our camera. We're filming them, we're doing, it was craziness. And I'm looking up as we're drifting. I look up and I see we had a girl. There was a diver, a very good diver, but she was staying on board. I see her coming down with this guy. And she's got him, and she's coming down with him. And I'm looking up, and I'm trying to keep my eye on sharks, and I'm looking up, and I'm watching her. What's that? About 4 sharksmen started up to the guy. They're going right up to him. I'm watching this old man, and she's like, oh man, she realizes she's in trouble. So myself, another guy, I started swimming up. I was at 60 feet, but the water was very clear. So, I'm swimming slow to getting up, and I'm trying to get to her from there, but I'm trying to keep an eye on everything else. Because when you start going up, the sharks start coming up after you. Never, always. So the closer I get to the guy, the more sharks I got on top of me. So the sharks are seeing him, so they're bypassing me, and they're going for this guy. He's trying to grab hold of this girl. And she's like scared to death. I can see it in her face. She said, I don't know what to do.
Oh my God.
And I get up on the boat anyway. We did the things. The guy gets out. And I get out. I'm going to get out. He said, oh, no. Because he knew that he was an idiot. I mean, he knew that we know. He said, no, I know this. But you people don't know what you're doing. You don't know what you're doing. You're too many sharks. And you people are crazy. You don't do it right. I dive in the Red Sea with them, but no problem like that. Whoa.
Oh boy.
Keep your mouth shut. Okay, whatever. But it goes to show you that it's all, you got to be mental. It's all eyes, mind, heart, the whole thing. And it worries me a lot watching so much stuff on Instagram. When I started posting years ago or working as Facebook and Instagram, many years ago, you didn't see that many people. And now so many people are trying to get in the act and people doing this and doing that. And it's sort of scary. I've been out with people and I see them. I said, man, dude, you gotta, somebody's going to get hurt. I mean, it's not a game. And people take it. People, they rolling over sharks, touching sharks, doing this kind of stuff. Playing. It's like, what?
Yeah. Oh my God, yeah. Just the other day I saw a video of someone kind of flipping a shark over. I don't know how that happened, but yeah, and I just thought, how does that? So are these the type of videos that you think, okay, this is
not cool? Well, maybe you do. But a lot of people say, oh, you see that, man? You don't do that. It's not, why would you do that? I've been that all of my life. I mean, I won't touch a shark unless I need to touch a shark. There's no need to put your hands on a shark. There's no need because it's disrespectful as far as I'm concerned. Because they're inviting you into their area. You're there. They give you that opportunity to be with them. And if they come in, you push them away with your camera. I'll push them away with my hand. But if they come in and I can't, I will detour them. As easy as I can, either the side of the face, on the back of the head. But that's it. But you see people having to touch them and trying to roll them over and getting big mouth shots from them with a piece of meat. Man, what are you doing?
Yeah.
That's craziness. If you look at my stuff, I don't show that kind of things.
No, exactly. I mean, your videos are really educational and mostly to do with sort of making you aware about shark conservation and just how to stay safe in the water and stuff like that.
Exactly.
But
Well, I mean, the thing is, I like to show that, and I really do it sort of unedited stuff. So that just see what beautiful it is to be in the water with these things. I have put a couple of when you get in trouble. I've done that. Like one time I was trying to get back to the boat in dirty water, and I couldn't get back, and the sharks were just, and that was a bad scene. I actually explained what happened is that the piece of bait had been hung over the side, and it was left there, and I was trying to get back to the boat, and very dirty the water was, very very green. And I couldn't get back to the boat because they were just going crazy over the boat.
wow.
And the stupid guy in the boat was trying to make a joke out of it, but I almost got hit a couple of times. Well, I've been hit already, I've got so many bites on me. I look like
God, that's
but
crazy. What is your first reaction? Because obviously, I mean, you've been doing this for such a long time, so you know what to do. But again, I guess it's still when something like that happens, you're still never really quite fully prepared to take the hit. So what?
hold your ground. You just gotta hold your ground. I mean, don't turn your back. Don't try to run away. Don't try to don't. I mean, because the situation, the safety is right over there. But to get to that safety, just to go through, you don't. It's panic. It's the panic. The panic will get you killed. The thing is that in the ocean, people that drown, most of the people, it's usually a panic situation. You to kill yourself. I can understand that. I've been in situations that I mean, I can sit here and tell you all day long, situations. But, and that's the idea, is to put in your mind that things can go wrong. And once you see them happening, I mean, it's like an airplane crash. It's 1, 2, 3. It doesn't just happen. Something went before that, or whatever. So you look at what the things that are that's happened, why, and this and that, and so you lead up to that, and you can see the writing on the wall more or less. And so you sort of, ooh. I mean, just this year, just more than well, the year is passing so fast. It seemed like yesterday was in January, February. Wow. But we were with tiger sharks in dirty water, and it was very clear. And we had like about 8 tigers, big, a lot of tigers on the bottom. And it was me and another guy. And what we do is we take down the bait box. We put the bait inside, but we never take out the bait. We never feed them. We just leave the scraps inside with weights and let them so that they will stay in the area. But we don't feed them. But he went down to drop the box, and this one big female decided that she wanted the box. She wanted to eat the box and him. And she was about 16 feet long.
Wow.
A couple 1,000 pounds. And I had hit the bottom, boom. And I had actually taken off my fins, and I was walking on the bottom with no fins. Because sometimes I would look, because I have a lot of weight. So if I'm filming, I don't want to be fighting with the currents and swimming around. So I just, boom. And I would just sit there and film, and then I'll just bounce across the bottom. I'm crazy. I do crazy stuff. But, sometimes I've lost my films too. Can't find them. So I was filming and also I look over and I see him, boom, boom, so just going on over there and the shark is going upside down, turning around and he's shaking the thing. And I'm right here and I see it. And then I see all the sharks coming. And they're all running in, going crazy. Because when one shark goes crazy, everybody else goes crazy. It's like a frenzy. They bring in the fight. And so he got hit in the hand. The shark was trying to hold that shit. Cha! And I saw it, and it's just me and him. Just me and him. I was waiting for the other people. We were going to do a shoot, but we were just getting things set up. And I saw him, and he goes, I saw him. He drops the box, and he's like that. I'm looking at him. Okay. But the sharks were, and the target shark came right at me. You see me filming, I'm going, boom, with my hand over my head. They give me, like, whoa. And I'm giving the film, the sharks just going like this. And it's so dirty, so greenish. And I didn't even watch it. I was disappearing. I said, oh, shit. There's nowhere for me to go. Nowhere for me to go. I just had to stay right there. I had no fence. I couldn't swim. I couldn't look for the fence because I couldn't turn around and look around because the sharks all over. So I just had to stay there filming and pushing the sharks away. You guys got, will somebody come down? Somebody come and help me here,
God. Oh wow. That's
But you see what can happen is that somebody would panic.
yeah.
If you know what they're doing, or you find yourself in a panic situation. And
So how did you maintain composure in that?
well, they calmed down. They calmed down a little bit. They started calming down. They usually a situation like that lasts a very short time, or until what they have is torn to pieces.
God.
But there was nothing to tear to pieces except a box just full of pieces of fish inside. There was nothing for them to grab hold of.
Yeah.
So after everything was gone, and they saw that the big mama tiger shark he's swimming around out there. Well, let's see, must be calming down. And then because the guy got hit, when he went up, two of my friends came down. So they came down and they were on the shoot too. And so they came down. It was actually a promo shoot for Zac Efron, the actor.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah, Zac and his brother Dylan. Dylan I dive with a lot. Dylan Efron, he's a really good friend of mine, and young guy, good diver, really good diver. And he was right there,
Oh wow.
Zac didn't want to get hurt. He was
Well, he knew.
yeah, I gotta go shoot. But yeah, it was like but the guy was, did you see all that? Wow. I said, I got it all on film, dude. So I always say, when you get in a situation like that, keep the camera running. Worth money. If they eat you, you're worth money. So
yeah, that's what they tell you. Yeah, I mean that's what
filming.
Yeah,
So
you always have to keep the camera running.
Yeah, keep the camera running. Don't stop. But
that's the best footage that you get. Yeah, but
so
I'm just picturing you in this situation with all of these sharks. What's obviously you know what you're doing, but still, what's kind of going through your mind? And I'm sure at this point you're kind of thinking, okay, maybe an accident could happen. Kind of, how do you wait until your friends come down to how does that?
everything goes, well, you know what? I think one moment you just stop thinking. You think at the moment, you don't think what can happen, you actually think at the moment. I don't think it's afterwards you think about it. You say, oh, shit. Oh, Like I had an accident happen to me years ago when I was diving, really years ago. I was spearfishing. and I had a big shark almost take me. I mean, really, it would have taken me. And I stopped diving. I came back and stopped diving. I said, I'm not going to water ever again, ever. I mean, the shark ate my gun before he
Oh,
get to me. I had to give him my gun to eat it to keep him eating me. And that's how bad it was. A
wow. So
big
that
one,
was
a big. It was a big tiger. And it was like, whoa! I had never experienced something like that, and so I was quitting. I was in no more, man. It was the after. But this is what happened. I was actually went to a place in a private plane. A friend of mine. We got a little boat. We went out and dived. Blah, blah, we used to spearfish. Get back in his plane. I went home, and when I got home, I went into a sweat. I started shaking. I got really scared. It took all of that time for it to hit me. And then I said, that's it. No, man. I've been lucky to get this far. No way, man.
oh
And then I
wow.
said, no, 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 you gotta get back in the water. We're going to the bar. We're going to speak. No, no, no.
So that didn't last very long.
Yeah, yeah, go back in again. And then I had the second time, but the worst experience I ever had this next month.
Oh God.
Two times.
Wow.
Two times within 2 months of it. I said, man, oh no. And I said, no, no, no. And then, no, no, you got to keep going. So back in, back in, back in. But not to say I didn't watch my back for a long time. I wasn't comfortable as I was before.
Yeah.
But then I sort of learned. As I say to people, you know what? You evolve.
Hmm.
People don't like me always to evolve. What do you mean you evolve? Yeah, you evolve. Yeah. I see people out there still my age. They're still killing. They're doing this. They're killing. They're taking pictures of animals and things. Dude, one moment you evolve, man, you wake up and you realize, I think everything is evolving. One time you evolve and you can say, I'm in the presence of these apex predators. I'm here for a reason. I don't get drugged back to the situation because I'm here for a reason. And like I said, we can talk all day. I have a foundation now that are saving sharks. I've talked to governments that we have changed laws. I'm very involved with the governments in this, in modifying laws, establishing laws, shark talk, shark awareness, everything. So I was here. I mean, I must have been here for a purpose,
I completely agree. No, I
you know.
completely agree. And like I said to you in the beginning of the interviews, um, your work really stood out to me because I do follow a lot of people who do sort of diving and a lot of videos with sharks, like you were saying, kind of a lot of entertaining videos with sharks. But your work specifically really stood out to me because it is very much about conservation work, and I think the work that you're doing now is really important and
But it's like my daughter said, Dad, okay, you didn't finish the treasure. You don't have a museum. But look what you've done for all the kids since I was kids. The last 8 years, young people, 8 or 9 years, and the last 3 years of your foundation. How many people in Panama know who you are? There's nobody doesn't know who you are. Like my granddaughter said, Grandpa, you're famous.
oh
Everybody knows you. I said, yeah, well.
oh
But so it is an idea that like I remember when I started giving talks at the schools to young people, thinking showing sharks. And you see the young guys, just the little boys, they say, sharks, gotta kill them all, gotta catch them. Oh, my jaw, blah. I get young kids crazy. Calm down, guys. I'm gonna show you some stuff here. And once they see you with a shark, they see you in a video, they see you swimming with shark, they see what you do, and they they start to relate, and the more they talk. And I've seen these kids 5 years later, another talks, another school, another level. Hi, Mr. Bolton. I've been getting me so interested now. I told my I'm always telling people about conservation and what they should do, and this, my family, my mother, my father, you know, uh, that, and even sometimes still they want to study marine biology, now
Oh,
graduated,
oh,
because I had taught them about the shark
wow.
and the conservation of the ocean. And it's not have my little, I would say, show pony, what, dog and pony show. What I do, ask questions, this and that. But the schools, they always, the next day, they will ask the students, what they learned and this and that and all that. And so it has been rewarding to me for that.
Hmm.
So maybe that's a purpose. We're pushing them off from every direction. On this dive, I think we had like 8 or 9, or maybe up to 12 oceanics swimming around us. And well, the more the better, as we always say, but you still got to keep your eyes open, huh? But Jacques Cousteau at one time said this was the most dangerous shark in the ocean. That was his opinion. Even more dangerous than the great white. Well, so many people got their opinions on that. But anyway, just wanted to show you these oceanics, and hope you enjoy taking a look at it.
And actually, that kind of leads me into the next part of the interview and the more unfortunate side of things, which is I did a little bit of research before the interview, and I saw that there's an estimated around 80 million sharks killed per year for shark fins. And I mean, I knew about that from before, but I never realized just how high those numbers are. And that's just insane. That's crazy.
It's incredible. It's incredible. It's incredible. We had just a few months ago, I was called 1 o'clock in the morning.
Mm.
I'll send you pictures if you want. They confiscated a container and a area in the middle of the mainland, not even close to the ocean, of a Chinese lady with some workers there. And she had this big oven, a dryer, drying fins. And they had over 200,000 fins. They estimated over 600,000 pounds. And we went there. They called us to go there. They were my foundation. They didn't know who else to call. So hey, we caught the shark man, So I went with the police. They went there. They arrested the lady. But it's illegal to do that. That's illegal. But other things are not illegal, but that's illegal. And she was in the mainland. She had this big, she was drying these fins, putting them in the containers, and shipping them out. And so we were able to capture that. But you can imagine that. You know what 200,000 fins are? It's just in Panama. It's just one little catch. But it's more profitable than the drug trade. Crazy.
That's just, yeah, it's insane to think about it. And just in the amount of money that they're still making from that as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually did a short documentary a couple of years ago on illegal animal trafficking, because they have a lot of that in South America, where they
Right.
yeah,
Right.
exotic animals to other parts of the world. And even back then, I knew that it's the fourth most yeah, biggest illegal market in the world. I think it's probably even third now, because that was like 8 years ago that I did that documentary. But and it's crazy the ways in which people actually transport these animals as well. Like they have parrots and stuff like that they would stuff in pipes, and they'll stuff like hundreds of them in pipes to transport them over to other countries, and half of them
Oh,
die. So it's
oh,
insane. Yeah, it's just really, really sad that that happened.
that's great. Well, you have to, Desi, I think, well, you have to pick your battle. I mean, just so much evil and badness going on in the world today. And animals, I think, man, I look at an animal, sometimes I say, the guy's drowning, I'll save my animal before with you. Yeah, didn't say that. But sometimes the poor animals, but yeah, I say you have to pick your battle.
Mm.
As you said, you were talking about the extinct thing. You ever heard of CITES? International Trade of Endangered Species.
Ah, okay. Yes.
Okay, it's worldwide. It could be a plant, it could be an elephant, it could be a tiger,
Yeah.
parrot, or shark, but they come all over the world. And they have these conferences every year. They had it in Panama this year.
Oh.
And yeah, we had everybody. And so we're able to get 6 different sharks on the endangered list
Mhm.
for that. But the thing is, this goes into it's an export of endangered species.
Yeah.
Export. Okay, but you go into export, you say, well, the export of endangered species. Okay, we got these 6 new sharks that are endangered. One of the sharks that I'm studying here in Panama is scalloped hammerheads. So I said, okay, but it didn't protect the local market.
Mm.
And this is not the export market are the fins, of course,
Huh.
and the shark itself. But in Panama, that hasn't been really our main issue. Our main issue is the local element of killing.
Mm.
And that's the battle that I pick. I can't fight the thousands and thousands and hundreds of thousands of friends. I, I, I will help you. I will agree with you. I will fight that with you. But for my battle, I pick mine as saving the juveniles that are being slaughtered by the hundreds, thousands. That I know because I do it, I follow it, and I'm trying to stop it. And what's going on here is I don't know if you saw my talk about it, of the thousands and thousands of juvenile sharks that are being slaughtered and killed for ceviche, shark taco, or fish taco, fish tacos, and ceviche, and sold off as the fillet of calzone. Little fillets like this. What they do is when the migrating hammerheads come through here, which are the migrating scalloped hammerheads, they come from Galapagos, down by Colombia, which is Mau Pedro. They come through Panama. They give birth in Panama. They come all the way from Galapagos to give birth in Panama
Oh, wow.
because of the mangroves,
Okay.
mangrove areas. Yeah. So this is where they grow their first years of life is in the mangrove areas or near the mangroves.
Uh-huh.
So you have thousands and hundreds of thousands of baby hammerheads that are left here. These sharks give birth and they move up to Cocos, Dr. Galapagos, and they migrate the next year. So during that time, they have the fishermen know how easy it is. So they put out these nets all the way to the coast. It's not one area. It's all the way from the coast of Panama all the way to Costa Rica. All of these mangrove areas. And they put these, and they're catching thousands of these, and they fillet them out. Or they bring them in by the boats, but the tail's cut off, the head cut off, the fins cut off. Little fins. They put the fins, and they sell the little fins, buckets of little fins. But then they bring in this little body like this, and then they start filleting them out. And
Oh,
they sell them off, and so they're made in ceviche. Big market.
that's a really popular food in South America. Yeah.
And you'd be surprised how big it is here. And also the fish tacos. If you see the fillet, it looks like so small.
Oh,
So they
wow.
make this, and it holds up much better. And we have DNA machines that we went around that we were donated on my foundation by the University of Miami, and we're able to detect the type of. We can take a sample and say it's shark. We can tell you it's shark, also the species of the shark. So we went to several restaurants here in Panama, many of the bigger restaurants and hotels, and where they serve stuff to the lower end, higher end. Anyway, 90% were shark,
Whoa, 90%.
and 90% were
That's
scalloped hammerhead. So,
wow.
and but the problem is, it's not illegal, Desi. It's not illegal, and
Not
so
illegal in Panama?
no,
Oh, wow.
it's not illegal because it's not for. Remember, the law only supports for export,
Mm-hmm.
so it's not. We're fighting the local market. So the local market, or where our issue lies, and there's no law that prohibits catching sharks.
Wow.
As long as you bring in the shark with the fin, you're okay. You'll have the fins cut off, but the shark, oh, the fins are right there in the bucket. But here's the shark.
Oh, wow.
They're not together, but they're there, you know? And the law says, oh, okay. And there's so many loopholes.
Yeah.
And this is what I'm fighting for, is to chop a lot of the holes that are in, letting these people get away with what they do.
Mhm.
And we're talking about on average, uh, I was talking, this is around 20,000 to 30,000 baby sharks a week. Now, I'll get back to tell you something else, is that a shark, a scalloped hammerhead, will not mature until it's approximately 15 years old. 12 to 15, depends on the shark. Then to the gestation period is 1 year.
Mm-hmm.
So take that 1 year, add it to the other before the shark can be mature to breed again. You're
Yeah.
looking at 15 to 16 years
Oh, wow.
before that shark can replenish itself.
So really on a losing game here, yeah. It's
So if you're killing thousands and thousands and thousands of juvenile, where are they going to have? What's going to happen? And what happens is you have a lot of the females that are caught also in this mess. And so you chop off their fins and dump them.
mm,
They don't care. Because the big meat of the big shark is not really what they want. Uh, but that's a very serious problem. And
mhm.
it's been going on for years and years and years. And what I'm trying to do is to stop that and get some type of law in Panama that will give us a area of no of non-fishing law zone, which are these areas that are non-fishing, or during a period where sharks cannot be fished. Um, they propose, like they propose some things. Okay, we can eliminate sharks, and they say, okay, um, this particular shark is not allowed to be killed.
Mhm.
Other sharks, yes. I said, well, what does that mean? You bring in sharks, and they say, oh, this one we can't kill. So by the time you throw him back, he's already dead.
Yeah.
So it doesn't work.
Yeah.
Stop killing sharks, period. There's no need. The sharks are our ocean. We lose the sharks, we're in trouble.
Yeah. How can you explain for, people who don't really know about how that works and the whole cycle of the marine life? How would that affect the ecosystem within the oceans if the shark population just died?
Well, the shark is it's also like a scavenger of the ocean. It picks up everything that is not is dead or hurt or whatever. It cleans up the ocean. Then you have like different species of sharks that feed on different types of animals, different creatures. Like the hammerhead would eat on a lot of crustaceans, like crabs and lobsters and fish and shrimps and stuff like this. But they didn't eat all these type of things to be an overgrowth of these animals. And then it'd just be like a roller coaster of other animals getting out of control. Like on great whites, you have seals. They would just become areas where they had put sharks in protection, like the great whites. The seal population exploded. That's really been a problem. So, you need to let them live to be able to
They're kind of like
Well,
the balancers of that marine ecosystem, isn't it? They keep it.
exactly.
Mhm.
So so it's every animal has its purpose, you know.
How can people, regular people like me, who are not really doing any of this, how can we help to to preserve marine life, to help with shark awareness? What can we do? Is there anything that can be done from our side to kind of help?
But I think is to be able to be a spokesman, you know, be able to talk about this. This is wrong. We see this, you know, you see this going, you say it's wrong. You talk to people about sharks. People mention sharks. You tell them, listen, I've talked to people that have a different attitude about this and really know what's going on behind it. It's just wrong, you know. So I think that's the thing about it. And sharks aren't really the mindless killer that they're supposed to be. Like right now, we're doing a promotion here in Panama. It's called "Plastic is the Real Killer,"
Mm, that's
and it's got a
important.
picture of a shark. Did you see that?
I saw it on your, yeah, I think the other
Yeah. Well,
right?
we have a shirt for cups. And so if it has a shark, a white shark. It's actually a picture of Michaela Victoria, my little baby shark. And I took a picture of her, and then we put plastic inside of her, all over her. You know, like
Oh,
little pieces of plastic, plastic bottles, plastic glasses, plastic straws, and it's all in pieces inside. And then we put plastic as the real killer, you know? And it's sort of, and that moves the environment into the ocean environment, but also wet sharks can get tangled into ropes or into crap and die of fixation or whatever, you know, and plastic. So it's to promote things like that. But um, um, I will send the link to our foundation as well.
mm-hmm.
We have the foundation on Instagram. I don't know if you saw it.
Mm-hmm.
The Transmuting Research Foundation. It's not very big yet because
Yeah.
it's not like me that you know I've been there for a long time. But we have our website, which I will send you the link.
Yes.
Actually, if you go to, I'll send you the link to our foundation, what we do, what we're doing, who's involved. Um, and so that, but definitely get back what you asked me, is I think the idea is to just um, um, pass on shark awareness. You
Mm-hmm.
know, when you have the opportunity.
Mm.
You know,
Yeah, definitely.
uh, and not in the past positive things, not negative things. And, you know,
Mm-hmm.
like these people, they show too much negative, and I've had sort of issues. I've seen people, and I write them. I'm like, dude, why would you put that? You're really disrespectful to show. You're killing the idea of what we try to do,
Mm-hmm.
and making joke about it or laughing about it or showing things, you know, which is not true. It
Mm-hmm.
could be true, but it shouldn't be out there.
Yeah.
Like somebody, remember that one with the shark going through a cage and jumping up and doing,
Oh, I haven't seen that one, but I can
uh,
imagine what.
it was like, you know, but that's all that I can say, you know, in your position, you know, is
Yeah.
just, is to be able
And
to talk about them.
yeah, and also for us not to contribute as well by adding comments to those and saying, "Oh, this is so cool," because this is what I've noticed as well. And even with just animals in general, like kittens, there's so many videos of kittens and stuff like that, and some of them are actually kittens where they're in places where they're bred in in tons and tons, and people are liking and commenting, and it's just like, gosh, you don't know how you're contributing in such a negative way. So it's really that awareness of being really conscious of how we're, even by liking a video, how we're actually contributing to that negative
Yeah.
way of.
Yeah. So sometimes I people put joking stuff on as a comment, I'll just delete it. Then I want in there, you know, I don't want on my thing. It's like stupid things, you know, it's like,
Yeah.
but I always try to answer everybody. I get a lot of messages. Like this morning, I got 25 or 30 messages. And I try to answer everybody. You know, I don't know who they are, but you know, I just think it's important. You
Yeah.
know, even though you're whatever. I think it's important that it's not about me anymore. Hell, man, I passed that many years ago. What it used to be about me, but it's not. I mean, God said that now you're done. Now it's about other things now. So I try to pass on information. If they ask me a stupid question, I'll answer it. So when you get really questions, like how do I go about doing this? What can I do? What can I study? How can I go? Jesus, I gotta write a whole letter, a curriculum to this person, and then I may write a bit and let me get back to you later. I'm busy, but I'll think about it, but I think it's important. People deserve to be answered. If they have time to ask you something, they deserve to be answered.
Well, so you mentioned you have the diving groups that you
Yeah.
do regularly. Tell me a little bit about that. Is it just once a year?
Okay, real quick. No, I do. I sort of got away from taking. The only one I'm doing is taking the people to see the great white sharks, but only in cages. If the
Yeah.
people go down in a cage, because I got away from the other ones about taking people to the water with bull sharks and tigers and stuff, because it's not cool. Anything can happen. If you take people that don't know what they're doing, it's like me taking you. You never been in the water with sharks.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take you and talk to you a little bit, blah, blah, blah. Okay, get in the water now with shark. You're looking for problems. It's not cool. I don't know, we had a girl who was killed right after the first of the year. We never found her.
Wow.
Never found her. And that was a crazy situation. You can Google it, but it's been hushed up so much that I mean, it was terrible. It was terrible. Shouldn't have happened. But people didn't know what they're doing. We're taking out people to dive. We're taking out people that didn't know how to dive. Never been in water with sharks. And what happened, just like what I said, situation happened. She panicked. And a tiger shark grabbed her, ripped off her arm. And then before she could get out, she was bleeding out really bad. And two other sharks grabbed her. And took her, but never found her. They just found parts of her dive equipment. And they searched for like a week, and her body was never found.
Oh God.
And so I mean, that's with a group of people. Imagine. I mean, that was they had never been in the water with sharks, and they put the person. These things can happen. So you'd be surprised how many people have been killed by or attacked or hurt. But anyway, so what I do is I only do that to Mexico in the cage, and I do that. I do like 4 to 5 trips a year to Guadalupe Island, which is in Mexico.
Amazing.
But you have to go live on a boat for a week if you want to do that.
Oh wow, I have to think about it.
It's 7 days living in it's 220 miles off of the coast of Ensenada, Mexico.
Okay.
And we live on board for each trip is 6 nights, 7 days. And you get to see the great white shark every day, and at night we talk about sharks.
Wow, what an experience. That sounds amazing.
I do that, so if you want to come.
Wow, I would definitely want to do it, but I'm so scared of open water.
Really?
Yeah, I have a bit of a fear. I've always had a bit of a fear from open water in general, and I'm pretty sure I had like a past life where I drowned at sea because I had so many dreams when I was young, being in the water and kind of drowning. So yeah.
Oh my God.
Big fear of mine for a long time, yeah.
Wow.
Oh gosh, yeah. But now that I live so close to the water, I go out some mornings and try to swim out a little bit. I can still obviously I swim, but just I don't go very deep. I just try to stay very close to the shore. So yeah.
So you're not interested in going with dive with sharks?
Maybe one day. Maybe one day.
Oh, you got a lot of time yet. You never know. You never know.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
my God.
I would love to try it. Maybe I would love to try it, yeah. But yeah, I'll never say never, but Definitely, probably not this year.
Not in the next couple of years anyway.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Oh my goodness.
That's the biggest part as well, is that to know that even though sharks, we think of sharks as, oh, they're these, creatures that eat humans and stuff like that, because that's what I used to think. And I grew up watching Jaws and watching
Oh God.
these films. And I actually remember I've read that Steven Spielberg, which funnily enough, you mentioned that you've met once.
Yeah.
I know that he had written an apology sort of letter about sharks, kind of apologizing in a way for realizing actually the damage that he's done by creating
Yeah.
the,
Peter Benchley.
yeah. Do you know much about that? And
Yeah. Well, Peter Benchley was actually wrote the book.
yeah.
And Peter Benchley had really, it haunted him for years after that, of making that movie, of doing that. And what it become worldwide. And he, when he died, his wife took over. It actually has a foundation now, and talks a lot on shark conservation, saving sharks, and shark awareness, shark behaviors, everything else. He died of cancer. Um, Spielberg, I was actually when I met Steven Spielberg. It's another story of mine, crazy story. Happened to me flying from Miami to LA in first class. And I got stuck beside Steven Spielberg in first class.
Oh, wow. What are the odds?
Crazy, craziness. I didn't really recognize who he was, but I got into more about the adventures about, it was such a, you know, here I was, knowing of Jaws, but I was like intimidated. I didn't want to go into that. I thought, I do a lot of photography. I do this type of things. But it was like you're confronting somebody on a level of something they did. I didn't want to get him. I was like, you know what I mean? I was
Yeah.
intimidated. So I stayed over in the Indiana Jones part of
Yeah.
the other talking about this and that. How to
On the
make this
safe
movie.
side, yeah.
On the safe side. Yeah, I did mention Jaws a couple of times, because I did know Ron and Valerie Taylor that actually worked with him on that movie. I just talked to Valerie the other day, actually. She's almost 90. She's older than me, 87. And she said, "Oh, Mike, I hung up my pens." I said, "Oh, no, Valerie." She said, "No, Mike, I just can't get in the water anymore." I said, "Oh my God," I said, "Well, because Ron, her husband, they were like a partner, they were like partners their whole life. And they were the first in the business of TV, mother, wife and husband thing, doing this, and the first shark suit wearing with the sharks. And when he passed, it was very hard for her. And she's from Australia, but she's still there. And but anyway, they had been called in to work with Steven on that and to do the work of because he had made the first shark cage, and so they want to do how they can do the cage, how can they do the artificial shark, how can they put real shark footage that Ron had shot in those days, which was very, very rare, into that scene, which you can see a few real shark in that.
Yeah, you
But
can.
that was actually during the cage situation, and they had to put a midget in the shark cage.
A midget. Okay.
Because how can they get the size of the shark to be beside the thing?
Okay. Oh, wow.
So they got a midget to go in the cage. And so they got the cage in the water. And when they had the real the big shark come in. The guy liked to panic up. He liked to crawl, he went insane. But anyway, they got him in there at least to get the shot. When they did hit, the shark came in and grabbed the cage and that little thing. You see the guys against the shark cage against the shark size. So, because I guess in those days there were any Jurassic Parks that you could make the what do you call that?
Like
The CGI.
the CGI.
CGI work. Yeah.
Wasn't so
So
accessible.
it was like, but there's a story behind that. I actually got pictures with him. I already got a midget. I got a picture of him. So that's how that was done. I just got a friend of mine had done that. It was going back to my friend, to her. She made a documentary, just came out. You can watch it if you like. It's on Discovery. It's called, and they
Ah,
have a part in there. It says "Women with Sharks," and it's
uh-huh.
her life, her story.
Oh, it's
She's
also wow.
Yeah, it's really really good. And I saw her in that, and she was making this thing, and I saw her trying to get into her wetsuit. And when you get old, our skins, they're not like before. You touch it and it gets black and blue. So and she's worse. She's older. She's very very fragile.
Mm.
But I see her getting into her wetsuit and everything she's putting on, with these young divers that are going down. We were taking her down with sharks for her last time. It was a controlled dive, and the tears were in her eyes. She started to shake, and I saw her tears come in, and and she was putting on the wetsuits and the things. And it wasn't out of the pain of the wetsuit. It was a pain in her heart. I felt it. I mean, I knew the energy. I was just watching it, but then I talked to her later on the phone, and I said, "I saw you. Oh my, I have no idea." And then she started to cry. I remember Ron, and I saw those young people and what I used to be. And I knew that this was the end. I knew this was my last dive. And it just crunched. It crushed my heart. And I mean, because I can relate, because I'm getting there. But she said it was not what she can't do again, and what she was. And it was all like in one, oh, broke my heart. It was like,
Wow.
uh, you go so far and done so much, and then it comes to the end, it's like,
Mm.
And I talked to her the other day. She was having too much wine, though. I was talking to her. He was like, in Australia, and I was like, "What are you doing?" She said, "You're making me have too much wine, Michael." I said, "Oh, okay."
Well, yeah,
87.
great, but wow, that's she's 87.
87.
Wow. But what
And
a
she's,
legacy to leave
well,
behind.
oh, yeah. You got to watch a documentary. You'll see what I'm talking about.
Yes.
I'll find it. I'll find it. I think it's up, but I'll send it to you.
And I'll put it
And
in the description as well, just in
you,
case anyone wants to watch.
you, you have to watch it because she is a legacy.
It sounds
She is a legacy. Um, but I had met them. Imagine in spearfishing tournaments when all the countries got together in the early '60s. That's how they started.
yeah.
Ron and Valerie were at Australia, and Ron was the Australian champion, and I was a Panama champion. I represented Panama for several years, so it was like,
Wow, that's incredible that you guys have known each other for such a long
all
time of work.
it's all these years. It's just like But I'll tell you something before I close is that I'll tell you, I don't put this out. I had cancer in 2006,
Hmm.
and I laid there, and it was like I was spearfishing a lot, still killing and filming, but never given up my spearfishing.
Mhm.
And I had a really bad, you had three big tumors, and prostate cancer is bad. I mean, it can be bad, it can be good, but I had three really tumors,
Yeah.
and it was pretty bad. So I just said to myself right then, my clock is going this way
Mm.
as much as I can. I mean, I evolved. In that bed, I evolved. I believe that God gave me that opportunity. Maybe wake up, maybe say, well, I was doing this. I never was a bad person, but I write, this, that, boom, 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 boom. So I
Mm.
went to that side, and like I was being called into that. And I evolved. I just evolved. But my heart, my spirit, my mind, everything changed. And
Mm.
I've never I mean, I get sometimes nausea when I see things that I would have done or continue to do.
If
I
you,
believe in all this kind of stuff, Daisy. You know, I believe I read about you too. I see what you do, so I know what most of your life is, and
yeah.
um, I'm sort of out of your class talking to me. I'm a different type of person,
Mm. Wow.
but, but
Thank.
yeah, but
That's.
I'm okay now. Never any problems.
Oh wow, that's incredible. And
No problem.
did
No,
did you go through the kind of the whole chemotherapy and stuff like that, or
nothing,
no?
nothing. I didn't go back to the doctor. I went back. I got out. I went back. You got to go. I mean, he showed me the tumors. I didn't go back to the doctor. I got into a book that called. It was a book that came out very. I'm sure you know it. It's called. It was back in those days, and it also had like a disc you could buy
Interesting. Like The
about
Secret or something,
the
or
secret. The
Secret.
secret.
Okay. I thought it was that
I
one.
know you would know it. As anybody knew it, you would have it. Lizzie. Yeah, the secret. I was just sitting there and I was reading this thing. I sat back, because I was really like, a moment of, and it was saying, about your body, of how this thing you just believe is not there anymore. The secret is not believing, not giving that opportunity to put too much attention on this thing.
Yeah.
And you know what? This is it. I never had this. It's gone. It's finished. Behind me. Yeah, it's not coming back. And in the back of my mind, I would say, if it did come back, I don't want to know about it. I got things to do. And you start thinking about people that oh, I've had cancer. I got to go back. I can't do this. I got to take my medicine. I have to do this. Or and they just continue just falling on this
Mm.
sickness.
Yeah.
I didn't want to be that. I didn't want to be that. And I just said, I'm not going to have it. And I had my wife, I had my daughter, dad, you got to come back there. I went back for a checkup one time. That would take out the stitches, and that was it.
Wow.
And my doctor went crazy. He said, I've never seen anybody like you. What are you doing? I said, no, it's okay. I'm all right. I'm okay. Nothing wrong with that. Go take a PSA. I said, no, I'm not going to take a PSA. I'm not
Yeah.
doing anything. I don't want to know anything about it. For me, it's gone. It's gone. I'm out of I went because I have an apartment in town where I am now, and then we have a house on the island. And so I was in town, and then I went to the island. My doctor had actually went out to the island, was visiting a friend on the island that had a boat, and he had his boat there anchored in the back of the beach here. And I had my boat anchored over there by the beach area. And I went there and I just had the cat, I call that thing? Cat,
Catheter? The
yeah.
catheter.
You
Yeah.
had to take it out
Oh, okay.
a week before. And he had went to visit this friend of his that I knew that was in the boat. And they were out in the boat. And I had went down in my car, went to the beach, and I'm swimming out to my boat because my boat's out on a buoy. So I'm swimming to my boat. And he looks over, he tells the guy, he says, is that Mike Bolton? I said, yeah, that's Mike. What? He can't be out there. He said, yeah, well, I don't know. I see him out there going every day out there. I don't know. He's supposed to be. I just took the cat last week and he can't be doing that. He's supposed to be coming to see me and he's got cancer operating. I said, hey, don't tell people that shit, man. I don't want people to know. Don't tell people everything. Private. I said, yeah. It was like, and then this is 2006, and then in 2021, just right after the pandemic and all that. My daughter also is a yoga instructor, but she's also an insurance broker. But she said she got a really good insurance. She said, Dad, even with all your time, I think I can get you this new policy. You got to take an MRI. You got to take the whole thing. Oh, no problem. Okay. But I felt it. I felt it. So I went, I did everything. But then I had to go back to my doctor. I had to go back to the doctor for him to sign it off. So I go back to my doctor so that he can sign on the thing about the cancer. He said, now you're back. 2006, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Yeah.
He said, now you come back. But he said, you're crazy. He said, but I looked at your reports and all this stuff they sent me. You're like a 20-year-old man in top condition, top physical condition. There's nothing wrong with you. He said, you're special.
Wow. I think that's the thing is sometimes your belief and your just knowing that
No,
everything will be okay and just kind of sticking with that and focusing on that, it really does make a difference. And you're
it
just
is.
with that. Yeah.
No, but it's all the same. You have all the experiences and put them together. It's like, I don't know. I have a lot of faith and I have a lot of love. I got 2 Jack Russell dogs that love me. I don't know where they're at. They're so
I think
quiet.
I saw one of them. Yeah,
Oh,
walk
did
over.
you? They're so quiet. Yeah, one's here, here's the other one. Usually they're going mad. Wait, if my doorbell rings, you'll know they're there.
And they will, yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, I've got 2 granddaughters. One is 13, one is 3,
Wow.
and then my daughter, fantastic. I took my daughter to Guadalupe Island, and I think it was 2016.
Mm.
And she was going through a really bad time with her husband and this time. And I just pulled her away. I said, I'm taking her for 2 weeks. Put that in the middle of the ocean with me
Oh, wow.
on the shoot. They're going out there with me.
Amazing.
Man, I changed her life. She got married, pulled her into reality. I mean, she was so far out there
Yeah.
with anxieties and depression and this and that and everything that she knew in her life and everything. And I've given her the best education. She's got the best private schools, universities. I mean, grew up pampered, only girl, only one daughter.
Yeah.
But she does yoga. She's a yoga instructor, all that. Actually, she went back and got a yoga instructor after that trip.
Oh,
Said,
wow.
Dad, I'm going back to become an instructor. My life, she went like this, and her
Really?
life, being out in that ocean, being with sharks, being in nature, doing what we do, it was like, Dad, I'm back where I used to dive with you when I was a little girl. I said, exactly. You're back where you belong. You're getting back to where, Dad, I want to start diving again. I want to come back in here. I don't know why I got away. Why I didn't listen to you. Why I didn't want to narrow that gap, girl. And I'm trying to keep always that gap there, trying to keep her there. But
it's hard now. It's very easy to become distracted and disconnected with yourself, which is why I think, again, the type of work that you're doing is something that we all kind of need to reconnect with. Just that connection with nature, with the animals, with the just environment around us. It's so important because if you lose that, it's so difficult to.
And you can't focus. The other problem is I can see it now. I mean, I don't want to die, but thank God I'm at the end of my time. I would hate to be in your guys' shoes. I would hate to be where you're at right now. I mean, I wouldn't know what to do. I mean, I don't know what I would do. Maybe it's the same thing when I was growing up. I don't know. But I see it so scary.
Yeah.
There's too many people, too much scary, so much competition, so much competitiveness, so many people that are not honest. There's some people that are not They're, I don't know how you say it.
Yeah, there's a
You
lot
don't
of
know. Even in the business, you see so many people. It's like, oh my God, you hug them all, but you can't. You got it's. But
yeah,
betrayal, it's what betrayal.
yeah.
God, but I I I get to jump in the water with sharks, then I feel better. At least I got something to jump in the water. So what do you do to give? I'll jump in the water with sharks. Oh, I'm at home. I mean, that's crazy. That's as crazy as you get. As
Yes.
crazy as you can get. Oh my God, I was way back. I want to tell you a story. One more before we close. Is that it's in the book? I think it's in the book. Yeah. I crashed a plane on one of my planes. I was flying, and I was lost in the jungle for 2.5 days. They
Oh
found
wow.
me on the third day,
Oh my God. That's crazy.
and I was like, well, I it was like one, two, three. I mean, when I crashed that plane, I knew what was coming because I'd been told, I had been warned, and everything was happening in a row. And
Oh,
boom, but uh, another story. It's like, but
wow.
again, but but it was like, I don't. Another day, no, I know it wasn't my time. I know it's not for me. It's just like, you know.
You just know,
I've
yeah.
been blessed. I've been blessed with so much dedicated. Right?
I think the work that you're doing here is too important for them to let you go.
That's right. I
So
got.
the universe is like, no, you're staying here.
But why did you know? Oh, I was telling my wife the other day. Well, just listen. This is funny. This is the funny part. I was telling my wife, damn. I said, God, it was after the movie and the premiere and all this, and the people write me, and the people go, man, all these beautiful women, they write me all the time, they call me, they give me, geez, how come I couldn't have me back in my 30s? She looked at me straight in the face. She said, God knows what he does. They're waiting for you to be an old man to give you all this. Fantastic. And my wife, she always with me in every dive I do. She's been my right hand.
That's
Uh,
incredible.
she's
How
always
how did
there.
you meet
Oh
her?
my God,
Something
I was
similar.
great. I didn't meet till I was 33,
Okay.
actually, and she was 22.
Okay.
And she was going to college, and I was going crazy, and I was just having my life. I was a pretty wild guy when I
Yeah.
was young, diving and
I
I
think
had
to
a
do the work
plane.
that you're doing, it takes someone to be a little bit wild to do.
Yeah, I've been a bit nuts. Everybody's crazy, still crazy. They wrote a book, and it was a guy wrote a book, and he's saying it was called The Long Blue Line, the blue line of the ocean. It was actually about all of us growing up here in Panama,
Mm.
diving, the craziness, the drinking, and women. I mean, he just came out, you
Wow.
know, straight away. Change the names, please. I mean, he said, Mike, I'm going to tell the story the way it was. But he's an artist. He's an artist. He's a writer. So he's really good at that kind of stuff.
Hmm.
So he comes out, and they they had put me there. Well, and actually, it was a nickname. They called me the Great Spearing Dude.
The Great
It's like
Spirit.
this Spearing
Oh,
Dude.
okay.
Because I was always called the dude because I like women and cars and partying. And I had a plane that I used to fly to. So I
Oh,
had my
wow.
plane, I had my boat. I was crazy. I mean, I was one
Wow.
of those dream guys.
So multi-talented.
I was like everything, he said. And the stories they put in that book, crazy. And people have read the book, they go back and they say, Jesus, all the characters in this book, you got one guy, the dude, the spearing dude. God, he's got to be dead by now. I said, nah, that guy's not dead. He's out there diving with sharks. Out there swimming sharks today. He's 80 something. He's out there still diving with sharks.
Wow.
So I was
That's
like,
And
It's great.
what was the name of the book? The Great Blue Line, did you say?
It's on Amazon, actually. It's called the Long Blue Line.
The Long Blue Line.
Yeah, you
Okay.
can get it on Amazon. I'll send you the link as well.
I
It's
will definitely.
$9. You got to read it.
I
You got,
will, now that you've
but
told me the stories.
don't, Jesus, I always tell people when you read it, especially women, guys get, women, it's a little bit,
Yeah,
people
especially in
say,
Panama, I can
yeah,
imagine.
is this guy, is this book true? The problem is 90% of it's true. There's
Wow.
probably 10%, but the 90%, it's crazy.
All right.
I tell people, you read it, just ask me, I'll tell you.
I
But
will
yeah,
definitely, you pique my interest for sure.
but you'll enjoy it. It's a good book. It's
Wow.
all true about us growing up here and all the trouble we got into and this and
That's,
that, and women and girls and crashing planes and
but
bridge.
these are
But
the kind of things that really truly make you feel like you're alive, isn't it? And
oh
those
yeah. Well,
experiences,
if you
yeah.
die, you know that you've had a good life. And I know it's not over.
Yeah.
I got things to do even after death.
I love
I'm
that.
not worried about that. I
love that.
think I've been drugged this far and still dragging around and still in good shape and uh, I think after death there's another plan.
I 100% agree. I think in a way death is just the new beginning of a new cycle. So
A new adventure,
really a new adventure.
a
Totally.
new adventure. But
Wow.
I just regret. I don't think I regret about death is leaving behind maybe my wife and my pups and my stuff, and then I have a little voice in the back of my head say, I don't worry about that. They'll still be there. You'll still be around. I guess I think that's one thing. But I know there's more. There's got to be. There's so much things out there to do.
Yeah.
Uh, we just fade away. We don't die.
Yeah.
Oh,
Trans
where's he got? No, he just faded away. So,
has or just transformed, just going into a different dimension, as they say, with
yeah.
the
Well,
stuff.
I feel like I sometimes is that I always tell people, man, the life I've had, you got to have something to back it up because otherwise people are going to say, this guy's shit. But it's just like, I don't know why I've had so many things in my life. It's like, it's just nonstop. It's just like, I mean, when I turned 80, I turned 80 years old, and my daughter gave me a birthday party. My friends came in, and all my friends are younger, by the way. They're all
Okay.
young. I don't mess around with old people. Younger people. Old people just family. But
People
the
who have more your spirit. Yeah.
yeah,
Neutral.
or don't understand you.
Mhm.
But I was sort of made my speech. I said, but I talked and said, life is. I see the young people nowadays. I'm not trying to judge because I mean every generation is different. You never know. I was always just. I guess I never really, 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 really worried. I didn't really worry about tomorrow. For me, it was like, hey, tomorrow there it is, going to happen. I was like, well, I never had that worry. But I see it in a lot of kids today, younger people. They're worried about tomorrow, worried about this. How am I going to do school? How am I going to do this? How am I going to do a house? What is that?
So much.
And you can tell them. I mean, you can't say, oh, don't worry, it'll come. But I always say life is like being an alcoholic, like you say, day at a time. Life is day at a time. You worry too much about what's going to happen 10 years from now, dude. You're going to go crazy. You got to worry about
Mm.
today. You're with your wife, with your baby. You're going to do a good job. Maybe get a promotion tomorrow. You're looking for that tomorrow, but don't look too far ahead
Mhm.
because you're going to go cuckoo and you're going to be unhappy. I'm a firm believer in that. If God's got something for you, it's going to come. And it's coming tomorrow. It'll come. You know, I believe in that. But anyway, I said, here I am. Imagine here I am. I just turned 80, guys. I got a movie that's being shown this week as we speak in Cannes.
Wow.
In Cannes.
Oh my
So
God.
I got an agent to get a movie that I made when I was 78 years old, started that movie, actually before the pandemic. We stopped, got stopped. But doing that, how would I believe that I was 80 years old and I was making a movie and making a documentary about my life, which is going to be on Netflix, and at 78 or 77, I had a foundation of sharks spreading word.
Oh my God.
Dude, how? Don't tell me that tomorrow. Always have a dream. Always never give up. Never, I mean, I had no idea that I was going to be in a movie.
Mm.
I mean, I could have possibly been underwater cinematographer, which I did, but I filmed, I did the underwater cinematography. I shark handler, cinematographer, later producer, and actor.
Wow. That's
So
a lot
as
of happens right
so,
there.
and my character had the highest dialogue of the whole movie.
Oh wow.
And I was like, when it came to by doing the underwater cinematography work, which we started doing a lot of the shark work and all the shark stuff, they had a captain of which was the big part of the movie,
Mhm.
was a guy from Brazil, but for some reason, and I was doing the thing. The guy said, "Have you ever done any acting?" I said, "Yeah, well, I've been acting all my life just to get here. I act every day, man. I'm just trying to keep going, So yeah. He said, really? He said, you're perfect for your personality, the way you are.
I
He
don't
said,
doubt
you,
that.
he said,
Yeah.
can you do this behind the camera? And I said, I don't know. I'm not afraid of the camera at all. Nothing at all. I can do anything, but I said, sure, I'll do it. And so he give you a screen test. And they come back and said, man, you're a new captain. But how are we going to do that? And you're going to film and all that. And I said, well, as long as you got somebody to film me when I'm underwater, then we're okay. But we can make it happen. And so it was like, I'd be on the set, I'd be playing the captain, and then it said, no, you got to go dive, you got to go underwater now. But you took up a night dive, take on your wetsuit, take off your wetsuit, dry your hair, be the
Oh.
captain.
Oh wow, that's incredible. How did you have the energy to do all of those things?
Oh no, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, we would shoot at 2 o'clock in the morning sometimes. I mean, 2 was usually about the limit. 2 o'clock, but we would be up on the set at 5:30, 6
My.
every morning. And it was like, wow. And
So
my wife was right there beside me the whole time. I don't
wow.
think she missed one day of a shoot. And we shot in Mexico. We shot in Honduras. We
Mm-hmm.
shot in the Bahamas,
Wow.
Miami, and the Keys.
Oh my God, wow. That sounds like what's the name of the movie?
Ghost divers.
Ghost Dive. Okay.
Ghost divers.
Mm-hmm.
I'll send you the trailer and the
Yes, I would love to
send me
see.
your WhatsApp. Send me your WhatsApp.
I will. I will. I would love to see it. I mean, it
And
sounds
I'll
amazing.
and I'll send you all the information on the WhatsApp. But
Oh,
we had a premiere last month, and it's now it'll be out probably on platforms first of the year.
mm-hmm.
It's in theaters in different areas in Europe. I don't know if it's in the UK, but I know it's in Asia. I know Germany bought it for
Oh,
different
wow.
areas. Yeah.
Wow, I'm so looking forward to that. Sounds like an amazing
Yeah.
movie. And I would love to see you also in action in front of the camera.
Oh,
Not
you'll see it. You'll see it.
just...
You'll see it. But I'm the bad guy. I'm not the.
Okay.
I'm the bad guy,
Very
but I also
shadow
am a tender
side.
guy. I'm a very tender side.
Of
Uh,
course. I don't
so
doubt.
it was like uh, to give away.
Uh-huh.
Everybody's like, who's this captain? He's hiding something, which it was. But it's pretty cool.
That sounds fascinating. Oh my gosh. Wow, Mike, you are so many talents. It's incredible. I'm just in awe of your spirit and your energy and just your
Oh,
drive
well,
to
thank
think.
you.
That's inspiring, honestly. And I feel like so many people would be just so inspired from everything that you're doing with the working with sharks, the conservation work, to cinematography and even acting now and having your own movies. That's absolutely incredible. And so,
You're welcome. I appreciate you inviting me to talk to you.
no, thank
I
you.
enjoy it. You're a very dynamic lady yourself.
Oh, thank you so much.
It's
Thank you so much, Mike. It's been
been
wonderful
beautiful.
speaking to you. Such an honor, honestly. Thank you so much for sharing your stories. I'm just in awe of your life and everything that you're doing. And yeah, hopefully we can meet again.
Well, on the next one, I'm going to be listening and you'll be talking to me.
I'm up for that, definitely.
Got it. Okay, girl.
Okay, take
My
care.
pleasure. Bye
Bye.
bye.